This is me moments before eating this calzone recipe. And this is me after my friend took a bite out of my calzone. Keep my calzone out of your f***ing mouth. Today we will be making a 500 calorie calzone that is shockingly easy to prepare, made from start to finish in an hour, and tastes so damn good it will make you question your decisions in life thus far. We start with a food processor on a scale, and to it we add 44 grams of flour, 14 grams of vital wheat gluten, 10 grams of oat fiber, 3 grams of instant yeast, and 1.5 grams of salt. Just an FYI, subscribers commented on my protein pita recipe that different brands of oat fiber may not be as high quality or work as well. If you already have another oat fiber, feel free to use what you have and log your results in the comment section below so other people know. Back to the recipe. Blend the dry ingredients up for 30 seconds. Once mixed, grab a stick of butter and add 3 grams to the processor. Try and cut 2 small slivers so you can put one on each side of the processor and have it spread evenly throughout. Then blend for another 30 seconds. By the way, you can use light butter here as well. Just add 6 grams instead of 3. While that is blending, get a glass, put it on the scale, and add 62 grams of water to it. Then we will put the water in the microwave for 15 to 20 seconds or until the water reaches between 110 and 120 degrees. Start the food processor up again, and while blending slowly, add the water to the blender and let the blender go for another 15 to 20 seconds, letting everything incorporate. Take the blade out and try to get any non-incorporated parts stuck to the dough. Then take the dough out and squeeze it a few times just to get everything mixed in. You should have a nice smooth dough. At this point, all we have to do is very quickly spray a container with oil, put a lid on top, and put it somewhere warm for 45 minutes. Can you make the dough without a food processor? Of course. Put all the dry ingredients in the bowl and whisk them together until well combined. Add the butter into your heated water, mix until the butter is melted, and add to the bowl. Use a spoon and mix it together until you get most of the dry ingredients incorporated. Empty all remnants onto your counter and get the last of the dry ingredients formed into the ball. Get that dough in a container and put it somewhere warm. Let's talk bacon. We could use pre-cooked bacon, and that is an option, but we need to preheat our oven anyway, and fresh cooked bacon is just 2 steps away. Once the oven reaches 425 degrees, put bacon on sheet pan and throw it in oven. In about 20 to 25 minutes, your bacon will be finished, but keep an eye on it for your ideal crispness. Once it is done, take it out, let it cool, and put it in a plastic bag for use on whatever you would like. Oh yeah, and once you take out the bacon, turn that oven to its highest temperature setting for the calzone. Mine is 525 degrees. Onto our cheese. I am not trying to repent for any sins next Sunday, so even though using shredded cheese is easier, we are going to shred our own cheese. You can buy a pound like this or get a chunk cut for you at your local deli. Get a grater, shred it down, put it in a plastic bag, and throw it in the fridge until we are ready to prepare our calzone. If you like low-calorie recipes or are getting any value from this video, please annihilate that like button. Let's talk chicken. Feel free to prepare your own chicken, but I promised you that this recipe would be as easy as possible without sacrificing flavor, so that is what we are doing. We are going to use the same chicken we used in my sheet pan pizza recipe because it is just so damn easy and that damn good. There's nothing left to say here because all we have to do is cut open the bag and add it to the inside of our calzone. This is a good time to do your dishes or just relax. Time to build our calzone. Let's start by getting the filling ready. For this, grab a bowl, put it on the scale, and add 21 grams of a part skim ricotta, 21 grams of fat-free mozzarella, and 21 grams of the mozzarella we just got done shredding. For some added flavor, we will add 4 grams of roasted garlic and a pinch of salt. If you don't have garlic to roast, feel free to add a pinch of garlic powder, but the roasted garlic is minimal effort and makes a major difference in taste, in my opinion. You will have to do this ahead of time, but it is just as easy as our bacon is. Set the oven to 425 degrees, cut the head of the garlic just enough to see the top of all the cloves, use a couple quarter-second sprays of oil to coat the top, and finish with a pinch of salt. Wrap the garlic in aluminum foil and throw it in the oven for an hour. Warning, your house will smell like roasted garlic for the entire night, but it is something I cherish. Anyways, we'll mix all of these ingredients together until almost in a paste-like consistency and then put it off to the side. Grab a paper towel, put it on the scale, and weigh out 42 grams of our chicken. This chicken is very wet and moist, so I like to squeeze out some of the extra juice over the sink and then put it to the side along with 2 slices of our freshly cooked bacon. Dough time. We have to start by giving 5 or 6 quick sprays to our counter and spreading out the oil about 10 to 12 inches in diameter for our calzone. Plop our dough onto the counter and using our fingertips, start pushing out the dough from the middle outward. I like to start middle to the front, then middle to the back, then middle to the right, and then middle to the left. By the way, huge shout out to Leo Spizzeri for the technique on this one, as the oil on the counter helps the dough from sticking and leaves great air bubbles in our dough, leaving it thicker and tastier. Once we have the dough to about a roughly 8 to 9 inch circle, we will start filling our calzone. It is important to note that we want to leave about a 1 inch space between the end of the calzone and where the filling starts so we can properly seal the calzone. Start with the cheese mix, then the chicken, and finishing with the bacon. For the bacon, I break it up into smaller pieces so a full piece of bacon doesn't come out when we take a bite, leaving all of the other bites baconless. It is vitally important that we make sure the calzone is sealed so we get no leakage. To do that, we will fold the dough in half, trying to line up the edges the best we can, then push down on the edges to create an initial seal. Starting at whatever end you'd like, take the dough and fold it. At the end of that fold, put your finger down and pull another small piece of the dough and fold it again. Repeat this process until all the way to the other side. At this point, we want to give one final press down from side to side, making sure the calzone is fully sealed. To ensure this looks and tastes like a real calzone, we need a coating so it browns correctly. To do that, we will grab an egg, whisk it, and brush a very thin layer of it on top of the entire calzone. Then, grab a knife and make a few cuts on top of the calzone. This not only gives a more aesthetic final product, but gives it room to breathe, making sure it won't pop or explode while cooking in the oven. Grab whatever you want to use to put your calzone in the oven and put some cornmeal on the end of it. That will not only make the calzone slide off easier, but has that authentic calzone crunch and taste when finished. Slide the calzone in the oven for about 12 to 14 minutes or until golden brown. I always say every oven is different, so keep an eye on it because the bottom can burn while the top looks fine, or vice versa. And when finished, this is what our final product should look like. Absolutely gorgeous. And if you cut this in half and serve it to someone, I can guarantee you no one is going to know the difference between this low-calorie calzone and a regular calzone. This calzone is absolutely tremendous on its own, but is even better with ranch sauce. Luckily, I have a spicy ranch recipe that you should definitely click on here that only has 23 calories per serving and takes 5 minutes to make. What more can you ask for than a chicken bacon ranch calzone? Until next time, deuces.